Hey dudes, welcome back to another episode of our Rhomas Men's Team podcast. You are about to listen to one of our prior team meetings. If you ever want to join one of our live sessions that we have every Monday and Friday, head over to rhomas.com. That's RHOMAS.com and put your email in and we will send you a live link every time we record. We generally record on Mondays and Fridays. So if you ever want to be on the actual podcast, like we bring men up all the time to talk about their goals, talk about their obstacles, etc., head over to rhomas.com. And then also, if you want to help support the channel grow and also have access to exclusive content, book reviews, extra whiteboard sessions, etc., and some coaching sessions, head over to patreon.com and support us. We would love it. But if not, no biggie. We'll see you on the live sessions. Later, dudes. Enjoy this podcast. What is up, dudes? Mr. Matt McCusker is in Boston, crushing it with Shane, and we've got the back of Ray double hosting here. Yes, finger guns ablazing. What's going on, everyone?
Life is good.
And then I'm not sure if there's a door you can shut or something, Ray. There's a decent amount of background noise, but
I'm gonna go into the I'll go into the east wing for this call.
Cool. Delco Jim, what's up, brother? Hey, man, sorry, Delco Jim. It took me so long to reply back to you. I just sent you a video message back, man. But welcome back, brother. It's awesome to see your success. And then also,
the dogs, why you sent him a video message instead of a text?
Because I have my shirt off. So video messages, I use them a lot for my business. That's just more personal. You know, you lose a lot of, tonality, facial expressions. Obviously, there's just a lot of texture that's lost with text messages. And honestly, the cool thing is, like, when you send, like, this is my video message to Delco Jim, when you send it, it's just much more personal and it's easy to watch as opposed to sending like a video email. I love it. I do it all the time, like all the time. So yeah, just wanted to congrat Delco Jim on all the success he's been having, and maybe even that's a good segment for today. Is anybody who has some successes, please, we'd love to bring you up and let's share them. And then also I want to give a big shout out to Matt and Shane, because did you guys see that Shane was up on Joe Rogan's podcast? I mean, that's just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And then Matt's name is, one of the first things in the description. It's just an example.
Spelled incorrectly.
Oh, was it? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Connor mentioned it on their follow-up podcast together.
Oh, gotcha.
But nice. It was great. It was weird though. Like, even a year or two later, Shane's defined by getting thrown off Saturday Night Live, and it's kind of weird. Like, that must be a mind fuck. That must be like, but it's also something we all go through in some version of ourselves, right? As we improve, right? People who used to be obese and are now in healthy condition, like women who lose a ton of weight, and I never know whether to like congratulate them on, hey, you look great, like, because in their mind is it like, hey, you used to be the fat chick or something, right?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I think of when I hear an interview like that, because they were asking about obviously the controversy, is just every single person that I know who's super successful, every single one of them has gone through a certain level of controversy, and they have a certain amount of haters. Like that's just always been the case. And I've gut checked myself. It's like, oh, could I handle that? Because it doesn't feel good not to be liked, at least for me. And I think I'm as robotic as they come. It still doesn't feel good to know that a certain percentage of people or a certain number of people, even if the percentage is super small, because on the internet, it could just be a handful of knuckleheads just wanting to mess up your day. But still, that gets in my head. So I give Shane and Matt a whole bunch of credit, because when Matt was going through it, man, like he and I were on the phone a few times during the beginning, and it was not good. Like it just didn't feel good for him, and understandably so.
Right. And Shane said he still reads all the comments, which is crazy, because there's something about, even when there's some like internet comments, they just activate like some kind of monster deep in the darkest recesses of the human soul. Like it's very like, you know what I mean? They're like, there's something almost primitive where
Oh yeah.
it's so easy to default negative.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Well, I mean, yeah,
road
it's
rage is the same, right? Where you have this kind of anonymity.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just you feel like you're getting kicked out of your tribe. Like that's what your brain thinks.
Yeah,
As I go, these
yeah,
people are commenting on how I should be booted out of the tribe and die somewhere in the desert. I mean, where the subconscious goes is very quick and very dark. So I give Shame a whole bunch of credit for that.
Now, you've been very open and honest about your journey from like a child in poverty, or like I don't know if that's the right word,
Mhm.
to success. And what there must have been a time where you felt kind of like handcuffed to that poverty, right? Like you wear it as a badge of honor now, right? In
Mhm.
terms, and you see it as obstacles overcome now. But I guess that might be your version of
Oh, sorry, kind of cut out there.
to kind of that probably was a boogeyman for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it still is. But
Mm-hmm.
there's no doubt about it. And let's say that type of journey, because I'm certainly obviously not the only one who's going on that type of journey. You experience several things. Like I've gone through very interesting patterns of imposter syndrome for sure. I mean, I still
Mm-hmm.
have that like all the time. When I got the Tesla, imposter syndrome. When I meeting with a big client, imposter syndrome. Blah, all of this stuff. So I still experience that literally every single time. The other thing that now I'm experiencing, which is very interesting, which is comments from family and or friends of saying like, "Oh, why don't you pay for it?" And by the way, we're not talking about like small things. Like I've got a relative who I pay their taxes, like several $1,000s, right? We're not talking about, oh, just pick up the check for dinner. And the comment to me, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
tell anybody about it, but then another family member said to me, well, like, oh, why don't you pay for this for that person? And in my head, and it's like, well, you have no idea, right, what I helped this family member out with. And I just wrote a check for $3,000 last week that I'm also not going to tell you about. But it's a weird thing. It's a weird, and I try not to get resentful on it, because I have other mentors who've gone through similar things where once you reach a certain point,
Yeah.
it's just assumed that you're supposed to pay for everything. And it's like, it's just very interesting. It's very, and at the same time, I want to be respectful, because all the rewards that I've gotten are not they're a tiny bit through my own effort, but a lot has just been the stars aligning,
Mm.
like that sort of a thing. So I want to be humble about that and be grateful for it. At the same time, not be a pushover and not just say, well, the default shouldn't just be, Wes handles all of the family's expenses, because at a certain point, right, like it's not mathematically possible.
That's why NBA players are broke, right?
Oh,
Because they bring the
100%.
entourage.
Yeah, could you imagine that, where it's assumed that you just get a house for your closest friends, or a car or something? That's crazy. That's
I
just
can
absolutely
picture
crazy.
myself being the friend who gets the house, but I don't want to picture myself as Allen Iverson or whatever.
Oh, dude.
So I had a very interesting um, evening yesterday with a friend of ours. My situation is like, um, I'm blessed in a lot of ways, but I did not come to my marriage with inherited wealth, right? And my wife
Mhm.
did. And it's not so uncommon these days for a guy to be dating or married to a woman who makes more money than him,
Mhm.
right? And it can fuck with a guy's head. Like it's almost like we're programmed to be the primary breadwinner,
Without a
right? And
doubt.
if we and when we're not, we don't always have the tools to be grateful that our wife is um, shouldering some of that burden for us, right? And it can be resentment can build up
Mhm.
easily. So I had that. So yeah. So I guess your generosity to your family member, there's also like a resentment landmine in there that you
Without a
have
doubt.
to tiptoe around, right? And so this friend of ours who was having drinks with us last night recently got divorced from her guy, and I saw a lot of it as the guy not managing the emotional landmines that come with marrying a rich chick, and the same with dating a rich chick, or like, because like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, how do you, and if you don't mind me saying this because you're bringing it up, yeah, how do you deal with it?
So the dynamic is, like, my wife always has the money to pay the bill,
Okay.
always has the money to pay the taxes, always has the money for everything. And so the conversation in my head is, I don't have to work, right? But it's also like, then I'm like, an at will, but then I can also feel like an at will employee that can be hired and fired. Right? The challenge is, working and like, giving up the money when it's not absolutely needed, in order to maintain a healthy dynamic.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions about it?
Go for it.
Now, and if I cross over any boundaries, let me know. But I'm literally legitimately curious because the other guys have for sure gone through this or going to go through it.
And it doesn't have to be marrying a rich girl. It's relationship dynamics in general.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, without a doubt. So number one, is it that your wife, is it that she makes more money than you, or is it that she's come in with a boatload of money, or is it both? Because I do think that changes the dynamic. Like, it's different dating someone who, like Sarah Blakely, who created Spanx, and she came from like rags to riches, and she's the alpha, and that sort of thing. What's the dynamic there?
It's the former in most of, and in the collection of friends that I can think of, and myself, it's the person brings inherited wealth to the relationship, which and that creates a different set of emotional landmines, right? Because you can fall into the trap of, they didn't earn it,
right?
So I can have it, right? Whereas, as opposed to, if they earned it, then it's as if they're entitled to more decision making power as to what to do with it. Is that the kind of dynamic you're talking about?
Yeah, it's and for the male ego, I could see that being fascinating, and I give you credit, because just honestly, I know that would be very difficult for me. I think it'd be difficult for a lot of men.
I think some men, it kind of increases the risk of infidelity for some men, right? Because it violates the traditional power dynamic.
Yes.
In a man-woman relationship, right? And so sometimes the man seeks out other ways to restore that power dynamic.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a certain hierarchy.
Like, maybe when employees steal from the fast food restaurants they work at, it might be because of a perceived injustice. They're kind of restoring a perceived injustice of not getting paid enough.
Yeah, kind of salvaging some sort of status, like, hey, you're important over here, but I'm really important over here. I mean, I think probably a lot of violence can be pointed to back. Are there any certain mental models, if you can speak to them, are there any mental models or tricks that you use to help overcome that? It's reminding yourself of your mission,
I remember Tony Bennett was on, like, what was he? He was on, like, not Comedians in Cars, but some kind of maybe a documentary or something. And people asked him, does he ever get sick of singing "I Left My Heart in San Francisco"? And he said no, because that song has given me the keys to a wonderful life. Right? So in every relationship or job, there's going to be upside and downside. Right? But if it's giving you, it's kind of like the long game. Think of the long game, right? If it's giving you the keys to a wonderful life, then maybe you that kind of thing is a mental model that has carried me through. But Another, but it's loaded into that is like, shut up, don't tell the other how you feel, because you're gonna put all this nice stuff at risk. So there's so it's this kind of dance you got to do where you speak up for yourself, but you also don't burn it down unnecessarily.
Do you find that your communication at times is filtered because of that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have in the past. Past, absolutely. The way you, and so like, and this is something that came up in the conversation with the drinks yesterday. It's like conflict avoidance is not a good thing. You know, healthy conflict, and Gottman talks about this, right? Healthy conflict is one of the keys to a successful marriage. And our Gottman specialist, like, in some ways, he kind of sets up arguments for us in order for us to learn how to argue in a healthy way. And you don't think of fighting with your spouse or like fighting with your boss as necessarily healthy,
right?
But you can speak to this. I mean, and this is like a perfect segue into like game changer books, right? Would you consider Gottman's Keys to a Successful Marriage a game changer book for you?
Without a doubt. I've read it like 4 times. I try to read it every year. That book is 100% a game changer book.
And so like the 4 horsemen for him are, do you know them off the top of your head? Stonewalling, resentment, criticism,
contempt.
Okay. And so conflict avoidance doesn't mean, like, isn't a good thing in that, like, I'm not an asshole. I don't yell back at I don't yell at my wife. If she's going through a tough day, I just let her kind of burn out. Well, that isn't being a hero. What that is actually stonewalling. Right? And that doesn't resolve the conflict in the relationship. If I can remember correctly.
Does your Gottman specialist, does he tell you to like what conflicts to engage in versus what conflicts are just going to resolve themselves because lack of sleep or somebody's sick or something like that? Do you know what I mean?
I can't think of the top of my head, like pick your battles kind of thing.
Right.
I think pick your battles is a good cliche. I mean, as compared to avoid all battles, right?
Yes.
That would be the conflict avoidance. But yeah, I'm sure. Oh, he does say that because he helped us identify, like, if we're driving to the yacht club or to a pheasant hunt or to a hot air balloon kind of gender reveal party. He like, and I want to take the highway and she wants to take side roads. I don't know if any of the guys out there ever get in arguments with their girlfriends about which route to take. I would say it's every time a couple gets in the car. He helped us understand that that's what we're talking about is stylistic differences.
I like that.
I prefer to get on the highway and get there faster, even though there might be a little traffic on the on-ramp. She prefers the less stress, but more stop and go of the side streets. Like, so I think he would say, pick your battles when it comes to stylistic differences.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, every single girl that I've dated, very quickly on in the relationship, we have a discussion about don't help me park. Like I do not like when people comment on parking lots. It's because it's a matter of opinion oftentimes, and oftentimes the feedback from the passenger is too late. You know, it's like, oh, like right back there, right? You know, that sort of thing. No, those.
Why didn't you? I used to get the why didn't, like, this is traffic's crazy. Why didn't you turn left on Market Street? But also part of it is also you also have realized you should have turned left on Market Street.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you also, like, you're busted, right? When she says you should have cranked the wheel more to get into that spot. Part of it is it's piling on because you already hate yourself for not cranking the wheel more.
Yeah. But I love the way you put it. Stylistic arguments, should be avoided at all costs, because they just add to the mental calculation of, we argue so much. Well, how many arguments of those are stylistic that just completely are just a matter of opinion, or just you're majoring in minor things?
And I don't know about you, but like when I get some like static about where I'm driving or where you're parking, they are stylistic differences, but I'm willing to die on that hill.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Who's got the wheel? Who's got the wheel? Who's the driver?
Yeah.
You know?
No, 100%, man.
At most, I'll let you like handle the climate control. You know, that's all you get. Like don't like keep in mind when something's bugging you that it might just be a stylistic difference, and then also don't feel the need to defend to the death your decision to take the highway rather than those side streets.
Yeah. Well, for your dynamic with your wife, is there an element, because I could see guys being in a position of, oh, well, what's my point here? Right.
Yeah.
Or it could be, and I hate saying this, but almost like, got to give a certain amount of credit to the Donald Trumps of the world, who came into the world with a boatload of money, and then who have this ambition to get above it. So the way I can see it is like, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, maybe the first layer or two is taken out for that person.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, well, great, because now I don't have to worry about putting food on the table, but I can now create a legacy that's 10 times greater than the one I started out with. Like, it seems like there's that fork in the road there.
Okay. Yeah. So that the hierarchy of needs, it either remains intact or it changes slightly. Cause like, when you are dating a girl who has more resources than you, or married to a girl who has resources than you, your needs are met. But you got to remember that we need to work as men. We need to work, and we need to because you're going to find yourself with a belly full, but like depressed or without meaning, or feeling expendable, or feeling feeling useless or redundant, like you just said. So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, and we talk about this a lot, is a meaning, right? Or like a purpose. And for guys, it's really easy to identify. It's work. It's like what you do, how you get paid, what you do to get paid.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I think that could be the other part of this coin, is that, well, it frees you up to go and work on something meaningful versus like you don't have to go and work at McDonald's part-time for 10 hours a day. So you can work on your meaning for 2 hours a day. Like you've got a great opportunity to do the opposite, right? Like to work on what's meaningful you for the majority of the day.
Right. So maybe it's like that you don't have to work. It's better to look at it as you don't have to work for somebody else if someone else has the resources covered.
Oh yeah.
So tell me, Wes, I'm going to fire up the Nespresso machine, but so my game changer book is Gottman, and so, you were talking earlier before we got on about a game changer book of your own.
Yeah. So and I would like to see maybe if A-Link, if you are down for joining us, I would love to get an update, man, because it seems like you got a lot of progress. So Andrew Lincoln, I know I see you in the comments. If you're available to chat, get up on the cast, that'd be awesome. If not, no sweat at all, bud. But in the meantime, I'm super excited. I was telling Ray before we hopped on here, and I'm not sure if Kaizen is on today, but I think he would appreciate this. The newest edition of Robert Cialdini's book called Influence, the newest edition, is out. And this thing, I read this book probably once a year, maybe every other year. And I'm super excited because the new edition came out. And this, if you want to learn how to speak human and how to influence people, as the cover would imply, I'd highly recommend this book as well as his other book called Persuasion. they're just absolute game changers. Like this teaches you how to talk to humans if you want to make progress with somebody or get them to make a decision. Obviously, and I know I sound like I'm corny when I say this, you have to use this with integrity, because when you do use or learn these types of techniques and tools on how to persuade people, you can use them for evil for sure. And I know it sounds like an infomercial when I say that, trying to sell this book. But I'm telling you, man, this stuff is so unbelievably powerful. Examples of like social proof, authority, reciprocity, all of those types of things. I'd highly recommend it. Oh, and
so it's useful for people in sales, I suppose, right? First,
it's useful for everybody, but definitely people in sales, 100%. I built my entire presentation, actually 80% of my presentation based off of this book. And I can tell you that we went from 50 million in management to now $280 million. That's how much money my partner and I, our team manages. It is in large part due because of this book. So I built presentations that weaved in every single one of these metrics in here and made sure that that's how I speak to clients. That's how I do presentations. And man, it is unbelievable in terms of how much it can change your life.
And so can you give me 1, 2, or 3 common errors that people make in their default setting in terms of influence or communication that CLD identifies and tries to train you out of?
Oh, dude, 100%. So the 2 that come to mind, actually, I'll give you 3 immediately. First things first, if you're trying to influence or persuade somebody to do something, number 1, always give a sense of urgency. Always. Right? Like, hey, I need this by this amount of time. And then if you teach you in the word because, right? They teach you in the book the word because, how influential that can be, as silly as it sounds. Like, hey, Ray, just wanted to let you know, or actually, so let's pretend I'm Ray. Hey, Ray, just wanted to let you know, or hey, Wes, just wanted to let you know, I've got this painting came in from, this X, Y, and Z artist. I've got 24 hours to sell it, Ray, like you and I talked about in the past. I got 24 hours to sell it. No big deal if you don't want to put a bid in for it, because Drake called me 15 minutes ago. He's on his way to a show, but he's going to put a bid on it right after the show. I've got 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Drake actually sent me a video message saying he wanted.
Yes, that's exactly right. So in there, right, you've got a sense of urgency, you've got scarcity, and you've got authority, right? And in that, you also have social proof. So there's 4 techniques immediately used inside of 2 sentences that all of a sudden it takes it from an okay.
What are those 4? What are those 4 again?
Scarcity. Scarcity because you only have one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Urgency because you have a very short timeline and a definite date, right? A definite end to that timeline. You got authority because you drop the word Drake, right? And then you've got social proof because you say you're there's a bidding process going on. You've already got several bids. And if you elaborate on the artist, like, oh, this artist has created works for Beyonce and blah, blah, blah.
Wes, I can think of a time in the last 2 weeks where I fell victim to
absolutely
a transaction where there was scarcity, urgency, authority, and social proof, like baked into the request.
What's the example, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, it's a painting. So there's a great Canadian painter, Sky Glavish, a guy named Sky Glavish, and he's now a big deal in the U.S. So small collectors are having trouble getting his paintings. And so his gallery in Toronto, Clint Ronish Gallery, texted me a picture of the small painting. So like my clients want a gigantic painting like this, right? But they could only, the only one I was sent in the last 2 years was earlier this week, 2 feet by 3 feet. And so scarcity, right?
Yep.
Finally, there's a Sky Glavish painting. Urgency, I only had 24 hours to make the call because it had come directly from the artist's studio and it was already promised to the LA gallery. The LA gallery, and even if I bought it, the LA gallery is going to show it in an exhibition. So it's going from his Canadian studio to LA to back. I only have 24 hours, at which point it will be opened up to the LA waiting list for his paintings.
Yep.
So Scarcity, there's only one. Urgency, 24 hours. It will surely sell to if there's people in LA who are dying to get a piece of this.
Social proof.
Yeah. And authority. When I was repackaging this information for my collectors, authority is like last time I tried to buy one for Mr. Romano, the National Gallery of Canada decided to buy it, so we were like we missed out. And so I baked that authority in, it got I sold it, and it didn't and I had like I actually sold it to the third person in line, so like I had presented it to several people, and it finally worked. So yeah, that is so within that transaction, I fell victim to the scarcity, urgency, authority, social proof, and was also able to like a contagion, able to pass it on, right, and benefit from it.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. If you look at, well, number one, just so I'm looking up this share value right now. So Charlie Munger, that's what you'll see here. Charlie Munger endorses the book. So Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's partner. He has referenced this so many times in his annual meetings or in presentations and so on, that what he did for the author, because the author is he's a professor out of University of Arizona, I believe. Charlie Munger sent him a letter saying, "Thank you so much for all of the work that you've done. I can't tell you how many times I've used all the lessons in your books," because this guy wrote this decades ago. And he said, just as a thank you, I want to give you a share of Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is the company that Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger own. So that share is now worth $419,000, a single share, right?
Right. I know they were about $100,000 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. So that's how much Charlie Munger believes in the book, that let's just say it was $100,000 when he gave it back. That's how much, like just a blank, basically.
So he gifted the author $500,000 because he, the book resonated with him that much.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you think about that, so yeah, other game changer book I'd throw out there to people is How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then also Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill, which is basically the extended version, the original version of Think and Grow Rich.
Well, maybe if the dogs want to throw in any of their game changer books, we can pull them up and have them discuss it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd love to bring Delco Jim up if he's still available, because I think he's got some updates for us. DJ, if you are still there, bro. Let's see. There we go. Okay, I just invited him. We'll see if he joins. But yeah, I mean, I could list off 10 other game changer books. Yes. There he is.
Handsome devil.
What is up, brother?
Where are you at today? Where's your green armor of Starbucks?
I'm done for the day, actually. I started early.
Hell yeah, man.
Guys are getting out of bed and he's already done for the day.
What an animal. So dude, give us some updates, bro. And like I said in my video message to you, I'm sorry for delay. I've been crazy busy, and then I got sick for the entire week because I'm a knucklehead, and every time I don't get sleep for like 4 or 5 days straight, it's just arithmetic. Every single time I'm like, yep, here we go. And then I'm sick for a week. So anyway, what are the updates, bro?
Just I've been getting booked a lot more for comedy, which is great.
Hell yeah.
My face is healing up. I've been doing like all
these. You got good movement.
I've been seeing a specialist, and I'm helping, get my face, more symmetrical. It's cool. I can move my eyebrow again, which is great.
Dude.
Hell
you got good eyebrow game, bud. Those things are fuzzy.
I started taking shit that helps like my beard grow, and it has been, which is cool. So
yeah, the beard helps you define your jaw.
It's like this like biotin fucking like vitamin thing that's supposed to help you like grow a beard. But
it also grows. I take that too, just because I'm trying to get more coverage here, and here. And
does it work?
It works. Yeah. It also grows your nails. like a fucking snake charmer though, so be careful.
Yeah. But yeah, I also started seeing somebody, and that's been really cool.
Awesome.
But I don't know. I just like you guys were talking about it earlier. Like this person is way more established in where they are in their life. Like they have a career,
Yeah.
and a house, and like a whole, you know. And I'm
Sure.
still like I'm very much working on myself. So like I just figured out what I want to do, and I'm working like very hard. I do comedy every night. I'm out till sometimes 2:00 in the morning. I'm up at work at 4:30. So it's like, I'm just grinding. But, like I'm very happy. And, I was way less happy when I just had a regular full-time job and a ton of time on my hands. So it's like,
I can tell you that that person who is established is on a journey, right? And unless they're like 90 and
Right.
you're in the will, which I also 100% endorse, but they are on a journey, and so you're not that different from this person, right? Because you are on a journey. You have identified the career you want, and just like they have, and you're on a journey. When I got my first real art job, I was, let's say, 38, much older than you are now, and the people that were getting the same pay as me, my colleagues, were 22 and 23, just out of university with some English degree. But I didn't see that as like humiliating, right? Because this wasn't my first job out of college. I had the benefit of finally finding the place where the universe intended for me. So I'm not so sure. So if that was true of my peers.
And Ray, any chance you could put your headphone back in, because there's echo, if that's cool. But yeah, I completely agree with what Ray's saying. Ray,
I feel like I kind of, everything kind of meshed with this person because of where I'm at and what I'm doing. Like I'm in a better position to be a part of something. Mm-hmm. So it's like, on one hand,
so attractive.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. So, and rather than just be, like depressed all the time and just fucking, it's just
not attractive.
Yeah, like Andrew just said, like don't create hurdles that aren't there. It's just, I'm like, sometimes it's like the way my brain is wired. It's like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was like, this is going too well. Something has to give. What's the catch, right? I'm gonna find out that this guy's like a fucking, he's got like a fucking family. Mm-hmm. That's like, that's the type of shit that goes through my head. But
yeah. Yeah. Well, I damn it. I forget who I just listened to, but it was basically about that. I think Ray, it was you and I and Jake, et cetera, listened to a guy last week who said that he battles all those demons as well. And he says, well, yeah, I know I'm not going to be successful, but I'm just going to keep on planting seeds. Where they almost like, okay, fine. Like I can let that self-doubt sit there if I can't work on it right now, but I'm just going to keep on planting my seeds in my comedy business or whatever it is. Just proceed and say thanks anyway, but I'm still going to do it.
And that's distinguishable from fake it till you make it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The structure of the mantra is the same, but just like keep going despite your insecurity. And I have that same gremlin in my head, Delco, which is like, and it's almost like you don't deserve to be happy, right?
It's so like I feel a lot of pressure to be more successful now because I want this to work out. I like the added pressure of like I need to work hard, to make this work. Because in my opinion, I don't want somebody to just like like I don't want someone to be a breadwinner and me to just be like this. I want to also
trophy. I could see you as a trophy wife.
Listen, I mean, the idea is there, but I don't think it would.
No, but it's the hardest way to make a living too, being a trophy wife.
Yeah, dude. Like just like I really love comedy and I want to do it as a career, but I have to work very hard for a while, however long until I get to where I want to be. But this person, there's an age gap. Like this guy's 40, I'm 23. And it comes with its own, line of baggage where it's kind of like, I don't want to waste this person's time, And it's like, because I feel like, it's going really well. It's really cool to be a part of something, but it's like, there's just a lot going on in my head, but it's cool. It's like the only thing I am in control of is like what I do on a daily basis. And I'm trying to just, work hard every day.
Yeah. Can I throw something out to you?
Yeah.
One thing that you say makes me think about a certain pattern that hopefully my vote would be for you to avoid. And it's like, it's one thing to have the negative chatter in your head of I'm not worthy, all that stuff. We all have that, every single one of us. Be careful though about, you might find yourself trapped sometimes in an element of like, don't make others' decisions for them, if that makes sense, to the point where you start sabotaging the relationship because you're trying to look out for them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Like I've been in situations.
I don't know what you mean.
Like
Can you elaborate on that?
Oh yeah. So like one of the things that DJ just said was like, well, this guy is advanced. He like, I don't want to hold him back. In other words, right? Like I don't want to waste his time. It's like, let him make that decision. You just keep on producing value for you and him and in your own career and being on that path. And the best that you can do is just being authentically open, right? Like
that's all I try to be. Yeah, exactly. I come from like people who kept secrets and people who lied and people who manipulated each other. And it's like, my whole thing is just, here's who I am and what I do and what I want to do. And this is how we met. It was just kind of just like talking, and then kind of just progressed. But it was just like, I don't know. I feel like it's weird because this person, it's almost like they're not the typical person that I end up with typically.
Mm-hmm. Sure. No,
cool.
I totally understand. Yeah, I think there's one thing where maybe like I can say where I get my own self-confidence is not confidence in achieving the reward. It's confidence and self-worth in I know I will put in the input. So being authentically open with people, like we've talked about in the past, like, so you say like, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I do. I can't promise that I'm going to be a billionaire, but I can sure as shit promise that I'm going to keep on putting in the inputs. Like that's my commitment to myself and to you and to the team and so on. And I think when you put your stake in the ground there, it's so much more tolerable for your own psychology, because it's like, I'm just going to keep on planting seeds every single day. And if you want to be on that journey with me, and it's going to be a tough journey, then come on board. If not, I get it. But right there, from there, you're not faking it. You don't have like, do you know what I mean? That's the difference between fake it till you make it and actually committing to a journey.
Well, that's like what one of the conversations was. I was like, hey, like, this is what I do. I do this every night. You know what I mean? Like I fucking, I hang out at dive bars all week, and it's going to take a certain level of commitment to, to be a part of this. It's because I'm not, I'm not willing to give up this dream I have, because it's just getting started and it's been so great so far, but it's just like, I don't know. It's tough. It's weird. I feel a lot of pressure. It's cool though. Like I'm happy, but I'm also like, I don't know. There's a lot going on, but I'm just trying to be like, as honest and open and communicative as possible. Because that's it. Rather than just bottle everything up and just be like it'll work itself out. I want to be a person that has discussions with their significant other. I want to, you know what I mean. That's something that's very important to me.
Yeah,
I can tell you that having a dream is extremely attractive. Having a goal is extremely attractive. The fact that you hang out in dive bars, if you hang out in dive bars and drink and complain, not attractive. But if you hang out in dive bars because you're not afraid to do that for the next 5 or 10 years to reach your destiny, very attractive.
Yep.
Small question. Is Ray's Happy Birthday a dive bar or a classy joint?
Yeah, it's a dive bar behind Gino's, dude. It's like tourist runoff that just fucking.
I can imagine how bad the cocaine is.
There's also an added level of pressure because this person is like out of my league. So it's like, quote unquote.
Well, no, I don't know. I know what you mean.
Obviously, all that is bullshit, but you know what I mean.
Obviously, we're going to attack you for saying that.
Right. Right.
It like quote unquote, like
On
one would
paper,
like,
or if you want.
right on paper, right. That's another one. But it's just like, I don't know. It's been a whirlwind of a last couple weeks. Chalupa came to see me at Ray's happy birthday bar. It was great.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, and one final comment to put on this is you said you created a really good distinction earlier of stress. So stress oftentimes can be good because you have distress and you have eustress. Eustress is positive stress. Distress is bad stress. We need, like, the human body needs eustress. That's what motivates
Like competition.
us. Yeah, anything,
eustress.
right? Exactly. Now it's up to a certain level. There's a ceiling to it, and once you reach that ceiling, then yes, it's distress. But yeah, man, DJ, I think you're in a great position of like, yeah, if this person is getting you to step up your game a little bit, to be even that much more committed to your craft, it's like, fuck yeah, that's a great thing. Yeah, and it seems like you're taking it on as a really good challenge.
Yeah, that and the fact that like I wanted to like make a discussion of it, like as a in the very beginning. Like, this is what I'm doing and this is where I'm headed and everything. I'm funneling all my energy into this. Like, so.
And are they in the entertainment business as well?
What was that?
Are they in the entertainment business
No, this
as well?
person is a forestry contractor. Like this,
Okay.
he just,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Well,
like,
I think so. He's a lumpy. Literally, he's a gay lumberjack.
pretty much, yeah. Literally.
Oh, dude, dream scenario, bro.
Yeah. It's you can't write this shit. It works out sometimes.
That's awesome,
But
man.
I'm having a good time. I mean, there's a lot of dogs that are in this thing that I get support from all the time. Because like I had a rough 3 months, dude. I was at her like walking around looking like Sloth from the Goonies for months.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like a younger me who hadn't been a part of a group like this would not have been able to, first off, like deal with that. B, continue working hard and like getting on stage and performing. Like, I don't think if I wasn't, a part of like a group like this where I had like support, I wouldn't have been able to like, you know what I mean? Like take that on and just kind of fucking blow past it. Cause now it's almost over and I kind of just I dealt with that shit. I'm very proud of myself for dealing with that. Cause I know, like, I look at the pictures from from some of the sets that I was doing and like the videos from when it was like real bad. And I'm like, good God.
I loved it. I'm sorry, dude, but it was like, how much more can God pile on top of me?
That is one of the, yeah, I mean.
And that's hilarious. Like, that's hilarious for the rest of us, dude. Like, it didn't, to me as an audience member, it didn't diminish your comedy.
It just, if anything.
And it looked like that's how you, yeah. And that's how you took it. You took it on the chin and you kept going.
Yeah. Well, dude, so A-Link, this is what I was just about to say, like you and A-Link, the journeys that you guys are running are just fucking phenomenal. A-Link just said, DJ is literally the reason I'm here. Dude is the man. And DJ, I know you're probably familiar with what A-Link has gone through recently. I mean, holy fuck. But, that's almost another thing, right? Like, honestly, one of the major reasons that I quadrupled down on the marketing spend. So I spent 50 grand on stuff, literally, because in the back of my head, it's like, these guys that I'm on the team with, they're going through their own stuff. I need them to push as hard forward as possible. I can't be telling them to push hard if I'm not pushing hard the same way. So DJ, now coming out on the other end of this thing, like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're stronger because of it? I mean, I think the answer is obvious, but
sure. Yeah, like it's just it's been a whirlwind, and now like my face is healing up. I met somebody, I just like things are going well in comedy. I have haters now, which is great.
That's
great.
key.
You want them. You need to have them.
yeah. You've made it, bro. You got haters.
Made it. Yeah, it's just it's cool. I'm really enjoying myself. Like I'm trying to take way better care of myself because I deserve it. I don't know.
Yep, 100%, bro. 100%. It gives you that feedback loop of
what it is. Yeah, I say stuff like that. And I say like, oh, I deserve to take, I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to take better care of myself. And it's true. But it's like, there's this hardwired like part of my brain that goes like, that's so gay. And you say, that's so gay.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
But it just is how it is. Like I don't know. There's a lot of that going on right now.
Dude, I would like to throw a challenge out to the guys. So besides today, so a couple weeks ago, I said, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm going to stop dressing for COVID, because I was dressing for COVID for a while. And then, you know, I got up in my stuff. I went to Vegas and I just got to see performers, and it's like, yeah, like that's what. So I start wearing ties again, vests, and Ray had a great comment. He's like, did you just get a new job as a busboy or something like that? You know, that, but literally,
I'm thinking, I forgot about the Vegas part, so I would have also accepted magician's assistant. Like, go ahead.
yeah. I can tell you, man, like when you put on your gear as if it's a sense of armor and you treat it that way, like I'm going out to battle, I'm going to dress appropriately for it. Mm-hmm. I easily got 10 comments in a single day because of it. Compliments as well. So what I mean. So DJ, keep doing that, man. Like, I think we should all step up things like our dress game, things like that. That's
literally what I just did. I actually went through and I got rid of like a shit ton of my clothes. Like I was wearing shit that I was wearing in high school just like 3 weeks ago.
Hell yeah, man.
Just like band t-shirts, fucking like this pussy grabs back t-shirts, like just shit like that. Like, but like, I don't know. I
cherish those messages.
Khakis all the time and shit. Like, and people have noticed. Like, I'm just trying to like grow up a little bit. You know?
Hell yeah, man. I love it. And still keeping your identity intact in the process. Like, you can evolve your identity.
Yeah, I'm out of the closet and I can wear this pink shirt now. You know what I mean?
So
hell yeah.
I can wear this and whatever.
You're ready for a yacht?
I am. I'm ready to fuck on a yacht.
Yes. Anchor drop. Boom.
Awesome. So Ray,
and the thing is about your attire is like, you don't, like with all your band t-shirts and your cheeky remarks and stuff, you don't have to broadcast to the world your wild personality. They don't have to see it from 50 yards, right? Like you can dress like a grown-up and then reveal to them in person that you're fucking psycho.
And you're right. It's very true. I mean, people see me and they assume that I'm like a clean like comic, and I go on stage and I'm not.
Pussy grabs back.
This pussy does grab back.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to Google that one because I'm just.
I promise. Actually, if I can aid your Google, instead of pussy, type bussy, and then it'll bring up more of what I'm into.
All right, dudes. Well, I want to thank you guys. Delco Jim, you keep on crushing it, brother. It's inspiring to all of us. And thank you for being part of the team, brother. It's an honor.
Yes, great sir, Delco. Man. And like you said, I don't need this men's group on the good days, but I show up every day so that I have it on the bad days.
Exactly, man. So Ray, because Matt has slapped my hand from the golden buzzer, I would I would ask you if you could golden buzzer Mr. DJ here for Dude of the Week.
Yeah. Let me just get some gold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Buzzer. Oh yeah. Do it, bro. Do it. Everybody's anticipating it.
Delco Jim, you are the people's champ.
Yes. DJ, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Dude, Ray, thank you for co-hosting. Champ.
Wear that belt. Like throw it up here like the wrestlers do when they stomp around the ring.
Hell
You're
yeah.
the people's champ, man. Keep slaying.
Awesome. And one final note, I think Jake is on here. I'm not sure if I saw him, but guys, if you can please nudge Jake to share his music with us, because I drove him home a couple weeks ago, and he was like a little bit bashful about sharing his craft, and I would love to hear it. So I think he's done a great job. So if you guys are interested, nudge him a little bit to share his work.
Yeah, I can see Wes just rocking out in the car, holding his steering wheel, just like, damn. These are some sick beats. Do it, Jake.
Yeah, Jake, please.
This pussy grabs back.
All right, dudes. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks a lot for everything.
The weekend.
Thank you, guys.
So you are Dude of the Week.
Later, dudes.